Hey there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. Today is day 10 of my 12 Days of Christmas tag series. So I have these wooden tags and I thought I'm going to paint on them. So I did a paint night with some friends just last week, and I'm going to basically do the same painting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of white and a little bit of blue, but really probably more white than blue because I want it to be really, really white in the middle. I'm going to be making like a wintry background, and it's going to have different layers of blue. So I start off with, like I said, a very, very light blue, and some of those other ones you can see are a little darker than I want, and I'm going to go back with a little white over them, but I'm not cleaning my brush. I want to continue with that blue on the brush. Now I'm taking that dark blue, so both the dark blue and the light blue, and kind of doing the same thing but going around that lighter circle or that lighter area. And I'm just really sloppily, I'm not worried about being neat at all on these little tags. Now these tags are probably about 3 inches high. I didn't measure them. They're not very big, but I'm telling you at the end you're going to love them. So once I put that half light blue, half dark blue layer, layer, then I'm going to just do the dark blue by itself. And so now I'm going to do that, and see how I'm not cleaning the brush, because again, I don't mind that I have those other layers of blue. It's all the same color, and actually if it gets a little messy or a little streaky, it's just really more interest to the tag and the sky in general. So I'm going to do that all the way around, all 6 of them. Now I'm thinking to myself, I may do more of these, because even though I'm making these into gift tags for this series, I'm thinking these would be really cute ornaments, especially if I date them and sign them. And so we'll have them on our tree. So now what I'm doing, again, not cleaning the brush, so I still have the blue on there, and I just grabbed a tiny bit of black. Now you saw how I just put the corner of that paintbrush and put it in that black, and I'm just moving it around. And this is basically on the edges and the corners of the tag, top and bottom, and on all the sides. So you see how it's just a little bit of that really dark. So we have the really light blue, kind of the medium, a little bit darker, and then a lot darker with the black in there. So this is a lot of fun. And the thing that I noticed is this wooden tags really absorb the acrylic paint, so I didn't have to wait too long between drying layers like I did when we did them on canvas. So when I did my paint night, we had them on 12 by 16. Yeah, something like that. Excuse me, canvases. So we had a lot of drying time. So once, like I said, I finished all those. Now I'm just using a very thin paintbrush, just putting very lightly, just a line down the middle, and then I kind of thicken it at the bottom, and then I draw a little horizontal line to give it kind of like a little stand. To me, they almost look like really long witch hats. That's not what it's supposed to look like. I'm not painting witch hats, but what I'm painting is, this is the trunk of a Christmas tree or a pine tree. I guess because we're outside, it's in the middle of the forest. So is it a Christmas tree? I don't know. I guess if you call it that, it's winter. I'm definitely going to be doing some trees. So I already had some light green on my paint palette, and now I'm using some dark green. I'm starting off with the dark green. I did clean my brush because I didn't want it to have a lot of black here, but I'm basically just doing some triangles and some very simple little line marks. So you see how I do that now? Instead of it being completely flat on that V part of the triangle, I flip them a little bit just on the edges. You see how they just kind of flip a little? And I'm going to do this in layers. I want to say they end up being about 5 layers each. So I did the real small triangle, if you want to call it that. Then I went right below it and I extended it just a little bit more and made it a little bit bigger. And then the third layer, again, a little bit more and a little bit bigger. So longer and wider. And I just kept doing that. Now, I probably didn't need to keep on switching the tags, but it just made it easier for me, and it made sure that I didn't put my hand and smudge anything. But you can tell already how cute these are. Oh my God, I just love them. I'll show, actually, I don't think I have the picture at the end of the canvas that I did, but if you check out my blog, I will have a picture as well as a picture of the group when we all painted our trees with the canvas art. So once the darker green dries, I'm going to go over it with a lighter green. Same exact process, only this time instead of doing it one at a time and switching trees, I'm just kind of going for the whole tree as I go down. Now, I don't want to fill it all the way to cover the dark. I really want it to be like an accent. So I'm really filling in areas where I noticed that were empty, or for some reason I felt like it just needed a little bit more greenery, and then a few over the actual green. So again, I'm just accenting, not covering. And then I clean my brush, and now I'm just using black, and I'm drawing a mound right where I put those horizontal lines. So some of them will be a little curvy, some will be a little straight. It just doesn't matter. Look, I don't need full coverage here. It's just whatever the paint that's on my brush. I end up switching to a bigger brush because it just seemed faster. But again, I'm not trying to fill it really dark with black, but just kind of cover it with black, if that makes any sense. Now I'm going back to that small brush, and I'm just putting little streaks of white. Now, if you look real close, a lot of those white streaks are actually a gray, and that's okay. That's what I'm looking for. Again, variation of color. It just gives more interest, and it's outside, so, usually snow's not very clean. As long as it's not yellow, we're all good. But you can tell already how pretty this is going to look, because that light background just already kind of makes the trees glow. So once the trees are completely dry, and I did have to use the hand dryer for that, then I'm going to add just a little bit of white here and there. And again, these are just accent. I'm not trying to cover anything. It's just a little bit of snow on the tree. So I really wanted it to be white as I could make it. That's why I really needed to make sure that green was completely dry, because I didn't want light green. I wanted white. So I'm just going to go through all that. So real quick with these tags, this is the last day of my 12 Days of Christmas Tag series. No, excuse me. This is day 10. Oh my goodness. And so I still have 2 more. But I do this for quite a few years, and I love doing it because all my tags are a little different every year, and I love that. So I want you to go to the details box, because they'll be linked to my blog, also to my Instagram. Now, to win a prize, or win the giveaway, I do give away 1 set of all 12 tags. So 1 set that has 1 of every tag that I create. So you will get this one, and I'm telling you, it is cute, and you will definitely want to use it on your tree after the gifts are open. But by getting an entry into the giveaway is when you leave a comment. Now you can leave a comment here on my blog, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, wherever you're seeing these posts. You can actually in one day have 4 different entries, as long as you leave a comment on each of the different social media platforms. And again, I'll have a winner at the end of the series, and that winner will win 1 of every tag. I also sell these tags, so if you're interested in purchasing a set, just leave me a comment as well, and I can get back to you on all that stuff. So the tags are done, the white has dried, and you saw me put dots and all that splatter and everything fun. Well, I decided to grab some clear Stickles, and right now I'm just putting them in like just little dots here and there. And then if you look at that middle one where I'm trying to fix it here, the dots didn't become dots. They were just kind of clumped. And then at that point I thought, you know what? I'm going to rub it around and look at, oh, it's so pretty. So I rubbed those other dots, and in the future ones, or the other 4, I just knew I was going to smudge it. So I just kind of put a little bit here and there and used my finger. But this is so pretty. And this is the difference between these tags and that canvas, because there was no glitter. We had to make our own glitter with the white dots. We also drew little snowflakes. I wasn't going to bother with drawing little snowflakes on these tags because it's so small. But aren't these gorgeous? I'm telling you, when you see these in person, yeah, I am really proud of these. There's a lot of times where I'm like, it's okay. But I absolutely love these, and I hope you do too. And if you do, leave me a thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And just on a normal basis, I do post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, which is the name of my craft room and also my blog. I'm going to be adding some red twine here and some red and white striped ribbon. Just going to kind of tie it in the middle of that. Look at, I'm goofing around. I always do this. I'll kind of, I'll fix one before I do all 6. And then once I decide, okay, that is what I want to do, then I try to do an assembly line for the other 5 tags. So, and it might even be super speed. So I'm not real good at drawing. I'm not real good at tying ribbons, but something like that is basically a big knot, and I'm really good at tying knots. So there you go, folks. Aren't those so pretty? I hope you agree, and I hope that you have had a chance to watch all 12 of the tags, or 10 at this point, since this is number 10. We have 2 more days. And look, if you haven't looked yet, go back, because you still have time to go back, leave comments, and get some entries into this giveaway, because I'm telling you, folks, you want some of these tags. Oh, no, you don't want some of them. You want all of them. Anyhow, I appreciate you so much for watching. I do this, actually, the last quite a few years ago, and if you go to my blog, you can see past posts as well on tags I've done in previous years. But thank you again for watching. Happy holidays and good night.